Hello Pisces, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of December 4th through December 10th. Now please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. All right, now we're going to find out what is the message coming through for you for this week. I've got a Princess of Wands here. This is some really strong, fiery energy. Let's put that into some context with our Dove and Serpent spread. And, you know, as usual, that is going to include a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, whatever you want to call it. We're going to leave that right here. We're not going to look at that until the very end of the reading, so be sure to stick around. We also offer extended readings. You can become a member to the channel by clicking on the link down in the description box. Or you could just buy me a coffee if you want. So let's take a look at these cards. Now, we've got some air, some major, some earth, some major. We've got some water. We've got some fire and some more earth. So it's fairly balanced, right? I think there's a pretty good balance of things going on this week. It doesn't look like there's any kind of energy that is too strong or overpowering. There's no lack of water. There's no lack of swords. I think there's some good earth cards here showing that there are some, you know, very practical things going on, right? Some really kind of tangible events. But what we started out with is this Princess of Wands. I wonder if this isn't someone in your life now that is causing a bit of drama for you. Okay, this is that really kind of elementary or maybe elemental fire energy, that kind of, that person who is as yet a little immature maybe in their energy and their demeanor and in their expression. It could be that they are just very easily drawn into their emotional states. You know what I mean? Like when they feel something, they feel it strongly and they don't always act in the most, refined manner, let's say. So they kind of are an instigator, right? They're kind of a bit of a dramatic person. But I think that there's someone like this in your life. Now, there is the possibility that this is representing you, okay? So maybe as we go through this reading, we'll see if one or the other of those ideas take prominence. But I feel like there's something in your life, someone or something, some event maybe that's bringing out this kind of quality of, I'm almost getting a feeling like temper tantrums. You know what I mean? Like there's just a lot of, someone's not getting their way and it is frustrating and they're acting out a little bit, right? They just have this kind of drama energy, this kind of tantrum energy. But let's see what maybe has happened. I think that there was some issue in the recent past regarding money, okay? 10 of Pentacles, or discs here as I call them. The 10 here showing that this is about some kind of physical object, physical money, maybe, maybe some other kind of valuable possession, right? Something happened with it. I don't know if it was lost, damaged, if it was, stolen, what the case was, but something happened with a physical object or some sort of physical, physical wealth, some kind of a tangible thing. And this, I think, is what is causing a little bit of this kind of, call it a temper tantrum, but, we're going to see if we can kind of narrow down or refine our own perception of that card as we go. So, I don't know if this was something, let's say, in your career, in your financial world, or to deal with your wealth, right? Your money or your possessions. If there's someone in your life who is maybe angry that you won't loan them money, maybe wants something that you won't provide for them or give to them or let them have, right? And they're kind of throwing a fit over it. Or if this is something that maybe you are trying to get, something that you have lost or didn't gain, something that just isn't what you wanted. And are you the one that's kind of throwing the fit, having a little bit of the tantrum? Okay. Now, I'm not trying to be offensive. I don't want you to turn the video off. We're going to keep going and see if we can narrow this down, okay? But what I do see, though, is that there is some kind of negotiation or some plan for for like mediation involved here, right? We get the Six of Swords. So this is some of that really, really good communication, that really good air swords energy. And this is kind of the best air we're going to get in this reading today. Okay, we have some more air, but I don't like it. We'll get to it though, because we don't sugarcoat anything here. I try to just give you the information, the energy, the messages as I receive them. Okay, so what I see, what I'm feeling with this Six of Swords is that there is kind of a negotiation or a compromise, let's say, that's going to take place. So whatever this issue is, right? Whatever this disagreement, whatever this trouble, whatever that conflict, whatever that drama is, which again I think is about some sort of physical object, you know, a valuable piece of art or an heirloom or just literally some money in your wallet or your purse or in your bank account, or a possession, maybe the car, you know, the house, something. It's something of value. And there's some issue there, there's some conflict there going on where someone is having a bit of a fit, okay? But the Six of Swords, there's going to be a compromise, a negotiation. There's going to be an agreement reached. There's going to be kind of, you know, a plan worked out where everybody's going to be relatively happy. It's kind of like that, you know, kind of like some mediation going on, where there will be, you know, it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be too one-sided. It's not going to be just all you benefiting. It's not going to be all them benefiting. It's going to be a pretty fair compromise. Okay, pretty fair negotiation. Almost, you know, I'm shocked that we don't see the adjustment card or the adjustment card here, because then I would say, well, maybe this might be like a marriage or like a prenup or something, you know? But it could be that mystery card. I don't know. Maybe that's going to be the justice or adjustment card. But there's going to be some kind of a plan worked out. Okay, and with the Six of Swords, this is our saving grace here, because I don't feel like this other energy that we have here, I don't feel like it's really indicating much of a reconciliation, much of a harmonious resolution. The only saving grace on the path of the dove is this Six of Swords, showing that it's going to be worked out. There's going to be this compromise created. This plan is going to be established that everybody can kind of agree to. Okay. But moving into the immediate future, it's not going to... Just because there's this agreement, this negotiation, this plan that's worked out that everyone kind of has to agree to, doesn't mean you're going to be super happy about it. It doesn't mean anyone's going to be super happy about it. Because in the immediate future, we get this Eight of Cups. This is really just kind of a sour taste in your mouth. This is a real lack of joy, and just kind of like, almost like you're just going to be leaving the room just shaking your head and just be like, I really don't like this. You know, you're just going to kind of really lose whatever joy or pleasure or happiness with this person or this situation. Whatever was there, I don't think is really going to be there anymore. It's kind of, this was like the last little bit of joy or pleasure or love that you had for this person. It's kind of, it almost feels like it's, you know, I don't want to put this word out there, but it almost feels like a divorce, something like that. Okay, well, there's this split and someone's throwing a fit to get, you know, some of the wealth, and there's going to be that negotiation, that compromise. Everyone's going to agree to it, but you're just like, that was a nasty situation, you know? And unfortunately, that's what the outcome of that is going to be. But at least it's settled, right? At least you have this plan, this kind of, this agreement that everybody is kind of signed on to, and everybody seems like they're probably bound to, and at least it's done, right? At least it's settled, and you can kind of move on with things. Now, some more information about this situation. And this kind of, again, this is kind of telling me that maybe it is like a divorce kind of thing. I hope not. But, you know, if it is, it's better that two people go their separate ways than try to force something that's not going to work, you know? And just kind of another example of us really not sugarcoating things here. I'm not just trying to tell you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what you need to hear. And beneath everything, there is this Four of Cups. Now, if you're a follower of the channel, you know what we say about the Four of Cups. This is like, Your ship has just been anchored. It's kind of baseline. It's, it's safe, it's secure, it's stable. There are no holes in the boat. It's not sinking, but it's also not going anywhere fun. It's not doing anything. It's just kind of sitting there at the edge of that storm. It's almost like your relationship or your feelings, your emotional life, right? This may not be about a relationship with a person, okay? But your emotional life is one that is pretty baseline. There's really no movement, there's no excitement, but there's no upset. It's just kind of, it's been just really even, really level. Like, not like you're not feeling anything, but it's just, there's no chemistry there. There's no spark. There's no excitement or enthusiasm. It just kind of is what it is, and it's really, just really baseline. I almost want to say basic, but that has a negative connotation, right? It's stable, but it's not anything spectacular, right? And I feel like this is kind of how you've been feeling in this situation. If this drama person here, if this is, another person involved here, which I think that it probably is someone other than you, I feel like you've kind of had this almost indifference towards them for a while. Like, yeah, you care for them. It's the relationship has been stable and steady, and you've managed to avoid going into any kind of stormy waters, right? You've been okay where you're at. It's been safe. You're not sinking. It's just, it is what it is, right? There's nothing special. There's no spark there. There's no real passion there. But you still care for the person. It's still a stable and steady thing, but it's lost its luster. It's lost its excitement. Okay, there's really no movement. That boat is not going anywhere, right? And I feel like this is just kind of something that, maybe you're just now starting to realize, or maybe you've felt this for some time now, but it could be that this current situation is really making you acutely aware of how little of a connection there is there. I mean, there's still, sure, you care about each other, and it's, but it's kind of just reached almost like an indifferent kind of vibe there, almost more of just a friendship than anything else. You know what I mean? There's no real spark there. Anyway, I don't mean to dwell on that card for too long, but I think that is a contributing factor, and that's kind of, I think that's something in your emotional life that you're starting to recognize now, or you've felt it for a while, but now it's really hitting home, that it's been this kind of relationship for a while. Okay? And again, in the immediate future, I think any kind of interest or real attraction or real desire in that situation now is going to be gone. I don't think you're going to feel that. But interestingly, what we see at the top of the path of the dove here, because let me just recap. We saw at first this Princess of Wands, and this is that kind of, dramatic person, throwing the temper tantrums, really has that kind of firecracker personality, right? At least in this situation. But what we see at the top of the path of the dove is the Queen of Wands. So this is like this kind of firecracker, temper tantrum energy, but with a little bit more refinement, a little bit more maturity, a little bit more grace, a little bit more compassion, right? A little bit more put together. So with this being at the top of the path of the dove here, I feel like this is the kind of person that you're kind of looking for. I feel like you might be attracted to, and this isn't gender specific either, okay? Just because this is a queen and a princess doesn't mean that it's in any way, needs to be a feminine energy. It's just kind of talking about the personality type, right? But I feel like you've always been going after these people who are kind of that drama, that firecracker personality, right? I feel like that's what you're attracted to, and that's what you go after, that kind of person. And that's the kind of person I think that has the potential to really be that dramatic firecracker, temper tantrum kind of energy. Okay, so I'm not saying that you put yourself in this position, but I think that there's a certain type of certain type of person that you go after, right? But of course, you know, a little bit more mature, a little bit more refined, a little bit more put together, okay, than this particular person. But anyway, this is just, I thought that was just an interesting card to have there at the top of the Path of the Dove here. But let's move on to the Path of the Serpent now. And I think the general energy, I mean, this is pretty obvious, a 3 of Swords. This is sorrow. This is really this kind of, you know, painful but necessary truth. This is, you know, you don't like the situation. You don't like the state of things, but you understand that this is just how, this is how it is. This is how it has to be, right? There's this situation that you're going through, and it is what it is. It's necessary. It's needed. It sucks. But you have to do it. You have to go through it. And this is kind of an acceptance of the kind of harsh reality of things, the state of this relationship now, and what's going on, and how it got here, and what's coming next. You've accepted it, right? You understand why it's necessary and why it's happening, but it still doesn't feel good. It's still a bit of grief, a bit of sorrow. Okay, and I think this is your general energy right now. But interestingly, moving forward, in terms of your relationships, maybe your new relationships, we've got the Emperor card. So I feel like now that you have gone through this experience, or you're going through this, on the other side of this, you're going to be much more in control, much more discerning of who you allow into your life. You're going to be much more in charge, much more in control of the way things go in your life. Because if we look at these firecrackers, right? These are the people, the personality type that I think you're generally attracted to. And these personality types might have the tendency to kind of run all over you, dominate the situation, control your life in some way. I know that sounds kind of extreme, but they might be a little bit of a dominating personality, a little bit of controlling energy. I think coming out on the other side of this, you're going to be the Emperor. You're going to be in charge. You're going to be controlling your own life. And I think with this Emperor energy, it's a real discernment of who you allow into your life, what kind of circumstances, what kind of people you will tolerate, and that you will put yourself around, or that you will allow into your life, right? Into your inner circle. And this is a real, I think, a major step for you. This is a really, really big kind of resolution to have now in terms of your upcoming relationships, your current relationships, both professional and personal, romantic and platonic. I think you're going to have a little bit more authority, a little bit more confidence, a little bit more assertiveness about what you will and will not tolerate. Okay? I think that's a very good card. Now, the next card that we see is in terms of your fears, worries, concerns. And this is interesting to me. I hope it's going to be interesting to you, but this is the Queen of Discs. So this is almost, in some ways, a polar opposite from this Queen of Wands, right? This is that firecracker, right? This is that kind of mature, successful, well put together firecracker. Okay, and this is what you typically go after. Again, not gender specific. And this is kind of your fears, worries, concerns. This is like saying, okay, well, you were attracted to these firecracker people, right? These kind of risky or dangerous kind of people, that personality type. But now that you've gone through this situation, now you're kind of especially with this confidence and this self-assertion, are you going to now have to just go after these kind of dull, these dull, quiet, reserved, rather basic people? So I think this is your fear, that you're going to end up with someone who is just the exact opposite of that firecracker, right? Because you're trying to really get away from that situation again, that you're going to go in kind of this opposite direction with just these real stinkers, these real just boring, right? And, the Queen of Discs here has many different meanings and implications. It's all very specific to the reading that we're doing. I know we've had the Queen of Discs in a lot of readings, and she's a wonderful card. This is some really terrific energy. Someone who is self-possessed and successful and independent and really just kind of rules over their life with this calm, assertive energy and builds their life up around them, doesn't need anyone else. So in some ways, this could be your fear of just kind of having to live that life of just being alone, being in control of your own life and just not needing any relationships, just being you, doing your thing, building up your life, creating your success alone. And that might be a scary thing to think about. That might be this might be that fear thing. Would I be better off just alone? To not go through this thing again? Would it just be more reasonable for me to just have this Queen of Discs or Pentacles, to have this energy, just to be in control of my own life? I don't need to share it, don't need to blend it with anyone else. I don't need that drama. Don't need those firecrackers anymore, that dynamite. So this could be either of those, energies. It could be that fear that maybe we're going to end up with someone who is just not a firecracker, right? The exact opposite of that. Or this is that fear that maybe we're better off just doing this thing ourselves. Okay? But the next card is also a very interesting card. And I would have expected this card maybe as the confirmation card, but we have the Empress. We have the Empress here. So I think, if we look at these two together, if you take on more of this Emperor energy, this control, this authority, this assertiveness, confidence, I feel like you're going to meet your perfect match, your perfect complement. Someone who is also calm, authoritative, confident, and assertive, but not someone that is going to try to dominate you or control you or manipulate the situation at the same time that you're not trying to do that to them. Like the Emperor and the Empress are just that perfect power couple, right? That perfect match. Perfectly complementary. And this could be indicating that, look, you may have these fears and worries of either getting stuck with some dud or just being alone. But either way, whichever way you deal with these fears, you're going to have this perfect balance, perfect harmony, success, love, joy, happiness, affection, this beautiful abundance, right? This is the best future that you could possibly dream of. But you may not know what that dream looks like because we still have this fear. This fear either of doing it alone by ourselves, being with someone that we're really not, passionately excited about, being with a bit of a stinker. And even if you choose to go it alone, even if you don't end up with anyone and you choose to take on this Queen of Pentacles energy, you're going to have the fulfillment, the success, the love, the joy. Either way, it's going to come. And you're going to manifest that in your life. With this Empress energy, this is showing that, one, you're taking charge of your life. So you're not going to tolerate anything that's not leading directly to your happiness, your success, and your abundance. And this is that happiness, success, and abundance with or without a romantic partner, right? Whatever way you choose to go, whatever ends up happening in your life, it's going to be directly because of this Emperor energy, because of your control, your discernment, and pretty much your intolerance for any kind of BS, right? And I've been told that some of my readings have a very self-serving energy, right? But I'm reading for you. I'm not reading for them. I'm reading for you. And I think that our energy has to be primarily self-serving. I think we have to be a little bit selfish. We have to take care of ourselves. It's like when you're on an airplane. That plane's going down, what do they tell you? Put your mask on first, and then help other people. Because if you're out of commission, you're not going to be able to serve anyone else, right? So these aren't selfish readings. I don't think these are self-serving readings. I don't think I am advocating any kind of a selfish philosophy, or I think I'm an individualist. I think that I want you to succeed. I want you to find happiness. I want you to be in control of your life and not base your happiness on what other people think you should have, you should do, you should want, or what happiness should look like for you. If you choose to go with the stinker, if you choose to go the more lonesome route with the Queen of Pentacles energy, whatever you choose, you're going to be choosing it because that is what you feel, that is what you want, and that is a decision that you make. And as long as you make those decisions for yourself first, primarily to fulfill your true nature, you'll end up with this Empress energy. And it could be that you are this Empress, right? That you are manifesting this love and joy and beauty and pleasure and affection all around you, whether you're in a relationship or not. Okay? Not gender specific. But let's look at this confirmation card, because this video is already getting a little bit long in the tooth, and I want to see what this is. Is this going to be that adjustment card? That was my first instinct. No, this is another queen. This is another one of the watery elements in the suit that we're talking about, right? We had the Queen of Wands, we had the Queen of Pentacles, now we've got the Queen of Cups. So this is really kind of showing that you're going to have this emotional connection. You're going to have this manifestation of the deep connections with people, the deep love, emotional heart connection. And since we saw all these queens, it's like this, you were going after the kind of, the more mature firecracker kind of person, right? And then we were seeing if there was some kind of these different options of whether you're going to be with a stinker or the dud, or you're going to be this kind of, you're going to be alone and just being an individual, right? I don't even, people hear the word alone and they think it's some scary thing, right? But you can be lonely in a crowded room, or you can be completely fulfilled even though you are by yourself, right? One doesn't necessarily entail the other. So being by yourself does not mean that you are lonely. And I think that this Queen of Cups is showing that you are going to be making connections with people, that you're going to have this love and joy and pleasure and affection in your life. If this is that energy on a grand scale, right? This is kind of like the universal energy, the more abstract energy of the love, the joy, the passion, the connection, the abundance, right? The success, the affection, the attraction, the fulfillment, right? In an abstract way, this Queen of Cups is all of that, but in the practical kind of day-to-day life. And this is telling me that you are making these connections with people. You are going to have this kind of love and joy and happiness and abundance in your life with whomever you choose, with whoever you want to connect with, and who wants to connect with you, obviously. All right. But this is just showing that you're going to be making these connections whether you're in a romantic relationship or not. Okay, and I know I said the same thing with the Empress card, but this is just confirming for me that yes, this is actually going to take place in the manifested realm, this world that we live in. It's not just some abstract potential for the future. It's actually something that you're going to be creating in your life. And you're going to be forging these connections with people because you have this will, this desire, this need to connect on the emotional level with people. And we saw the lack of that connection, right? That spark when we were talking about the Four of Cups over here on the path of the dove. There wasn't that connection there. It was just a baseline kind of thing. There was no spark, there was no excitement, no movement there. It was just kind of stagnant. There was no passion, right? But now we're getting that confirmation that yes, you are in control of that, and you have this ability to forge these connections, to really get the deep satisfaction and that meaningful connection with people. And this is a wonderful confirmation. Pisces, I want to thank you for being a member of this channel. Thank you for letting me read for you today. This was your weekly tarot reading for December 4th through December 10th. And I do encourage you to become a member to the channel. You'll get access to all of the extended readings. I think it's $4.99 a month. There are no commercials, no ads, and you get access to all of them. That would really support the channel, so I do encourage that. But I appreciate you watching this video. Thank you so much for coming and watching these readings. I really do appreciate you. We will see you next week. Thank you so much.